Hello, this is Lori. Welcome back to Finding 50 Fit. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, and I will be sending a video every week chronicling my process of becoming healthy and fit by the time I am 50. And that is actually a mere 16 weeks away to the day. So I'm looking forward to a little capsule of 16 weeks, 4 months to address key areas of my life that are going to be addressed in order to find me as a healthy, fit 50-year-old. So I'm very excited. I've been working for months on this process already, but I did take a bit of a hiatus from the video process, and I've also taken like a 2-month gap in a real hardcore following of my plan. And so I've been experimenting with different nutritional programs and plans over the past year. I did find a lot of success doing the carnivore diet. I had some early success with the elimination diet, but it just wasn't quite enough to really address the bloating issue in my gut. And so when I learned about the carnivore diet, I decided to try it. I actually ate only beef for 16 weeks, and I lost all of my pain. My inflammation dramatically dropped. I lost 15 pounds. I'm currently at 190, and so my BMI is near the upper edge of the, it's not quite obese, but it's very, very close. But I have gained about 10 of the 15 back that I lost in the fall. And so my goal is going to be to lose. It's not going to happen in 16 weeks, but I would like to definitely be under 150, if not under 140 by the time this year is over. So if I lose half of that by the time my birthday comes, I will be able to move a lot better. But it's the inflammation that is the big key, because within a week or two of eating carnivore, the discomforts in my bones and joints was virtually gone. So I was running sprints. I'll have a video in here one of the weeks. But one thing I'd like to talk specifically about is the core strengthening. And this is something I can do right now while my body is feeling in pain and not that great. So I'm going to start very diligently. And I do these things more randomly. But the pelvic floor muscles are one of 3 key muscle groups that provide stability of our core musculature. So the pelvic floor muscles sit in a bowl-like fashion at the base of the pelvis. And that's the deep layer. Here's the superficial layer with all of the openings there as well. Here's this bowl. The proper position is nice and upright. Sometimes we sit back on our sacrums here. Sometimes people are really arched forward and have a big deep curve. We want to learn, maybe with the help of a physical therapist, how to sit in a neutral spine position, because these pelvic floor muscles, the back muscles, and the abdominal muscles, these 3 groups work ideally when this bony contraption of 3, 1, 2, 3 bones on each side is in a neutral position. So when I turned 30, I was 38 weeks pregnant. 2 weeks later, I had my first child, and picture perfect delivery. Everything went really well. Pushing was only about a half an hour, and I believe that by the nature of being forced to be on my back and locking out these 2 sacroiliac joints, all the pressure went on my pelvic floor and strained and damaged a nerve. So picture perfect in terms of things went smoothly in the labor and delivery room, healthy child, everything was fine. But after some of the initial swelling went down in my private area, came home a couple days later, and I realized that every time I stood, I completely lost my urine. I had 0 control. This was devastating. I was a runner, I was a triathlete, I was active, and I was 30, and I had no control. So I recognize now the degree of trauma that this was. It was devastating. I learned to deal with it. I got used to it. I've never really gotten over it. Even recently did some work, emotional work related to the resentment and sadness that I have around that situation. Because it's real, and picture perfect deliveries for you moms out there can still hold a lot of trauma for mom and baby too. We have to recognize that our babies are going through a trauma, so that if we recognize that, we can support them better in their postpartum period, their early weeks. Anyway, with these muscles, there's some key things that you can do to strengthen them. And a lot of women are told to do Kegels, to squeeze and do these exercises. Some may do them properly and get a good benefit from them. Other people may have tightnesses in there, and so their attempts to contract are ineffective. Some people may have damage and weakness, and they don't even have a clue how to do it through no fault of their own. You can't see these muscles. You're generally not able to feel them unless you're palpating specifically, which many women do not feel comfortable doing or do not know how to do. They're worried they're going to hurt themselves. There's just a whole lot of a lack of education about our private areas. And so as a pelvic floor therapist, I try to break those barriers for women and teach and offer opportunities to learn and to see and to palpate and to understand really how these muscles work. Through the soft tissue manual work that I do, we release restrictions and provide feedback related to the functionality of the muscles and help people learn how to use them properly so that they can strengthen them. And people that are having no idea can actually learn how to use them well. You can undo the incontinence problems. You can undo pain. Some of my patients have pain with intercourse. Many of these women are told that it is normal to have pain. While there may be some degree of discomfort the initial time that someone has intercourse, it's not normal to have ongoing or it's never normal to have excruciating pain. So there's so much challenge with relationships for women and for their spouses, partners, related to the pain that is related to the pain that's associated with intercourse. I had a little interruption there, so I had to turn the video off. 10-year-old popping in while I'm talking about painful intercourse. So anyway, this is what I do every day, and it's very rewarding to be able to help women come to a place where they understand their bodies, can get their bowel and bladder control back, be able to have intercourse without pain, be able to go out for the day without having to worry about where the bathrooms are, you know, because they can't go more than an hour or even a half hour without going to the bathroom. And so for myself, I have this nerve damage on the left-hand side, but I do have some muscle activity on the left-hand side, so I can do a regular exercise. And what I'm going to do is two types. One to address the high intensity, high strength demand, and that would be a quick, you call it a quick flick. I'll pull up and in for a second and relax for 2 seconds. I'm going to try to get about 30 of those in a day. And then for my endurance muscle fibers, I'm going to do a 10-second hold, pull up and in for 10 seconds, and then I'll relax for 20. My brain that's all over the place, oftentimes I'll forget during my 20-second relax that I'm even doing pelvic floor muscle exercises, and I'm off to the next thing because I'm usually doing these exercises while I'm doing something else. I have taken to doing them before I get out of bed and when I go to bed at night, so sometimes I'll do them until I fall asleep. So that's great. I can usually at least get 10 in at a time. So if I go over my 30 right now, that's going to be a good thing because I do still leak when I run, jump, sneeze, cough. I also will, at some point, utilize some of the equipment that I have that provides electric stimulation to the muscles so that the area that has less nerve function can strengthen to a higher degree than what I can do on my own. And so maybe I'll pop back in and talk a little bit more about different equipment pieces that are available to help women. Some can be just providing feedback, and some can actually be providing electric stim if you have nerves that are damaged as well. So have a great week, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. And if you need some assistance finding a pelvic floor therapist, if you have any of these problems that I mentioned, or just feel like things just aren't quite working right and you don't know if you have a problem, if you don't know if you're using your muscles properly, you can talk to me or another pelvic floor therapist. We're all really, really open and honest, and provide a safe place to have these kinds of discussions that otherwise seem intimidating and not safe to talk about. So let me know. You can direct message me. My Facebook page has my phone number on it, and I hope you enjoy what you've learned today. And if you have any questions, reach out. Thanks. Bye-bye.